All right, let's talk about something most of us would rather not think about, but it is so, so important: creating a will here in Georgia. And this isn't just some boring legal paper. It's your final word, your last say, making sure everything you've worked for goes where you want it to go.
So let's make this real. Think about something you own that you absolutely love. Your vintage record collection, your car, your house. Who gets it? Because if you don't have a will in Georgia, you don't decide. The state does, and it follows a very strict and honestly, often surprising set of rules. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. Before we even get into who gets what, we have to make sure the will itself is legally sound. This first part is all about the foundational rules, the absolute must-haves for your will to actually hold up in court. First up, just a little bit of vocabulary so we're all on the same page. When you hear testator, that's just the official term for you, the person who's making the will. And the will, that's the actual legal document that lays out the plan for all your stuff after you're gone. Pretty straightforward, right? Here we go. These are the 3 absolute core requirements for a valid will in Georgia. Number 1, it has to be in writing. No verbal wills. Number 2, you, the testator, have to sign it. And number 3, you need 2 competent witnesses to sign it, and they have to do it in your presence. You miss even one of these steps, and the whole document could be thrown out. Now, this is where it gets really interesting because we're going to bust some common myths. Get this. In Georgia, you only have to be 14 years old to make a will. And your signature, it doesn't have to be your perfect cursive at the very bottom. Nope. Any mark you make with the intent of it being your signature counts. What's more, your witnesses don't even have to know it's a will they're signing. And believe it or not, the will doesn't even need a date to be valid. So we know how to make a will. But what happens when life, well, happens? People come and go, you buy or sell things, your wishes change. The good news is your will is not set in stone. Let's look at how you can legally change your mind. In Georgia, there are basically 3 ways to cancel a will. You can do it with a physical act, literally destroying it. You can do it by creating a new legal document, like a whole new will. Or sometimes the law does it for you, like after a major life event, like a divorce, which automatically cancels out parts of your will. And when we talk about a physical act, we mean it. Tearing it up, burning it, even just writing void in big letters across the front. The key here, though, is intent. You have to mean to revoke it when you do it. Accidentally spilling coffee on it and ruining it doesn't count.
This is such a great question, and it gets to a really critical point in Georgia law. What if you just want to make one little tweak? You don't want to scrap the whole thing. You just want to, say, remove one person from it.
And here's the answer, which is surprisingly strict. Georgia has an all-or-nothing rule for physical acts. You can't just take a marker and cross out a line. A court might see that and decide you intended to revoke the entire thing. So to make a partial change, you have to do it formally with a new document called a codicil, and that has to be signed and witnessed just like the original will. All right, let's dive into the what-ifs. Life is unpredictable. What happens when a person you named in your will is gone, or a specific piece of property you wanted to give away no longer exists? Let's break down 2 key ideas here. Lapse is when the person is gone, a beneficiary dies before you do. Ademption is when the property is gone. That classic car you willed to your nephew got sold before you passed. In both of these scenarios, that specific gift usually just fails. But wait, Georgia has a really powerful safety net called the anti-lapse statute. It's actually pretty broad. If a beneficiary dies before you, this law can step in and save that gift by automatically giving it to their kids instead. It's a way of keeping the gift in that family line, which is usually what people would have wanted anyway. To really understand why a will is so important, we have to look at what happens if you don't have one. This is what's known as dying intestate, and it's a situation you really want to avoid. Because if you don't have a will, you have 0 say. None. The state of Georgia takes over and distributes your property using a strict, one-size-fits-all formula. Your wishes, your relationships, your intentions, they don't matter. It's all about the legal rulebook. And this number right here, this is the one that really shocks people. If you're married with kids and you die without a will, your spouse does not automatically get everything, not even close. They're guaranteed at least 1/3 of your estate. The rest goes directly to your children. For a lot of people, that is not at all what they would have wanted. The state just goes right down a checklist. First, it's spouse and children. No one there? It goes to your parents. No parents? It goes to your siblings. And it keeps going down the line of relatives. And if they can't find anyone,
Your entire estate can go to the county education fund.
Okay, let's fast forward. You've done everything right. You have a solid, well-drafted will, but it's not over yet. The will still has to pass one final test to be officially recognized and put into action. That final test is called probate. You can think of it as the official court proceeding where your will gets the stamp of approval. The court validates it, makes sure any of your debts are paid off, and then gives your executor the green light to start distributing your property just like you want it. But probate is also where a will can be challenged, and these are the most common reasons why. Someone might claim it wasn't signed right, or that you weren't of sound mind when you made it, or they might argue that someone was pressuring you, that's undue influence, or that there was some kind of fraud involved. Now, to try and prevent these kinds of family fights, some people put in a special clause, like this one. It's called a no contest clause, and it basically says, hey, if you challenge this will and you lose, you don't get anything at all. And in Georgia, these are generally taken very seriously, which can be a powerful way to discourage people from filing a challenge just for the sake of it. Which really brings us to the big takeaway here. Your will is so much more than just a piece of paper. It's your final message to the world. So you have to ask yourself, is my message clear? Is it valid? And is it strong enough to make sure my final wishes are honored? Is it ready for that final test?